When tying a bosun's chair, attach hitch to secure shackle with thin rope. After setting anchor line at 2 points and rope for work usage, it's ready for one member to ascend. Tie the bosun's chair rope with heaving line and raise. After raising, fasten bosun chair rope tight to handrail, etc. Next, raise lifeline and tie it in the same way. When stepping on the bosun's chair, secure it temporarily with a rope in order to prevent the bosun's chair from slipping. After hitching lifeline hook to safety belt, step on the bosun's chair. When on the bosun's chair, swing it to test safety and release temporary rope. Before starting this operation, remove gloves to avoid slipping. Send rope down with hands to descend. Weight of lanyard will send lifeline down. Once you get to the work point, secure bosun's chair rope. This prevents the bosun's chair from descending. When working, position lifeline lanyard above safety belt and release lifeline hook after hitching safety belt to the hook. This allows free horizontal work movement. After completing work, hitch lifeline on safety belt hook and release safety belt hook. Finally, release a hitch and lower with hands to descend to the deck. First, tie stage rope. Make an eye 2 or 3 meters away from the end of the rope. And pass over stage board bar positioning the 2 ropes underneath. Set and tightly secure hitch. Next, get on the board and make a bowline at slightly lower position below the hip bone. Make sure more than 1 meter of the rope ends are extended. Set the inner rope slightly shorter than the outer rope in order to balance the board in horizontal. After securing ropes on both ends of the stage board, one member goes up. And lowers heaving line, then tie to the stage rope. Make sure to tie rope so it can be readily released, yet not too loose. After the stage rope is raised, lower the end passing through the handrail, etc. After lowering stage rope end, tie lifeline to heaving line and raise. Next, pull stage rope end and raise stage board, confirming balance. After raising it, the other member goes up to the stage board and ties a 2/2 hitch to secure the stage board. Make sure not to let go with one hand until one hitch is set in order to maintain the rope position. After securing the stage board, one member with lifeline secures steps on the stage board and bounces to test tie points. After confirming stage board balance, the other member also with lifeline steps on the stage board and double checks the balance. By the way, during this operation, remove gloves to avoid risk of slipping. Next, be sure to exchange signals while descending, releasing the rope used for temporary security.
はい、ヒッチ1本目解いた。はい、2つ目解いた。はい、準備できた。じゃあ降下します。はい、止めます。
Upon coming to the work point, stop the stage board, tie rope, and check for safety. When ready to start work, replace lifeline hook with safety belt hook. Make sure to position of lanyard higher than safety belt so that the load is effective to activate stop. Attach safety belt, then release lifeline hook. Now you are set for work. Work may require a sitting position. After completing work, once again reattach lifeline hook. Exchange signals, release rope, and descend.
はい、2本目解いた。はい、準備 OK です。はい、降下します。
Measure length of the rope 8 beads from the working end and tape to mark. Next, remove the end tape to separate strands. After separating strands, tape each strand end. Color coding Z-lay and S-lay with different colors will help splicing operation. If the rope is loosened when twisted clockwise, it is Z-lay. And if taut, it is S-lay. After taping is complete, separate strands up to the tape mark. After separating strands, place S-lay strands behind and tape them temporarily. Next, determine the size of the eye. Pull out 2 pairs of Z-lay strands in parallel and start splicing with number 1 inner eye and number 2 outer eye. Because number 1 is Z-lay, insert spike through under the opposite S-lay to insert through along the same strand. First, make a path using a small spike and pull out the spike while holding it down with hand so it does not close. Next, insert a large spike to bring up the whole hawser. Never force with body weight. There may be risk of chest injury even when the spike is not fully inserted. When inserting spike, 2 members must hold hawser and spike while the other member strikes both sides of hawser with a hammer. After an opening is made big enough to insert strand, lay down the hawser and pull out the spike while holding down so the opening remains open. Insert 2 number 1 strands. Do not insert up to the root yet. Next, in order to insert number 2, insert a spike through the opening 1 bead away from the eye and make an opening in the same manner. Insert 2 Z-lay number 2 strands. Next, separate S-lay strands which were temporarily taped. The inner eye pair becomes number 4, and the outer pair becomes number 3. Turn over the hawser for easy operation because number 3 strand has to be inserted from underneath. Next, make a hole with a spike between number 1 and number 2. And insert number 3 under Z-lay. Next, make an opening outside of where number 3 is inserted. And insert number 4 strand while overlaying with number 2. This completes inserting all 4 pairs once. Tighten inserted strands. At least 3 splicings are required. Repeat the same steps 2 more times. This time, insert in the order of Z-lay, S-lay, then Z-lay and S-lay from the position close to the eye. After completing the same steps 2 times, check tension. Pull evenly before inserting for the 3rd time. The 2nd and 3rd time inserting require more strength due to increased tension. After completing for the 3rd time, firmly insert 1 more time to confirm proper tensioning. Splice tensioning increases when the eye is hooked and pulled on bit. Finally, tape each end and cut off the loose strands. Lay a sheet of plywood for splicing job to avoid spike slippage. First, wipe off excess oil from wire splice and eye with a cloth. Measure the splice length and apply seizing with yarn or marline. Next, strip off and tape and separate strands. Z-lay wire ends separate easily by holding and twisting the ends clockwise. After separating strands up to the seizing point, wipe excess strand oil individually. Next, seize each strand end with twine. After determining the eye size, align wire in the anti-clockwise direction. Innermost strand in the eye becomes number 1. To make opening between 2 and 4 strands, lift 2 wires with the spike and insert number 1 strand. Inserting strand to the root results in difficulty in handling the spike. Insert strand to about half. Next, strand immediately outside number 1 becomes number 2. Insertion point is the same as before. An exit point is 1 strand away. Number 3 is the immediate outside strand. Turn over the whole wire because it's difficult to insert spike from the same direction. Insert spike from the exit point one position away, making the same point an insertion point, and insert number 3 strand. Next, lift one wire from the next exit and insert number 4 strand from the same insertion point. Then, hold and hammer down 6 strands and core with spike. Make sure to hold thick part of shaft. Holding thin part may result in losing grip of spike. After hammering to the root, use spike and wind and tuck the outermost strand out of 4, which is number 4 strand, 5 times. Make sure to keep safe distance from wire to avoid backlash. During the first tucking, insert without losing strand and pulling it down and tighten, while bringing up the spike by stepping on the eye. Next, rotate spike halfway along lay. Then turn back lay halfway and insert for the second time and tuck. Repeat the same, and after 5 tuckings, turn spike twice along lay while holding strand. This closes the last opening. Undo wire lay and keep it parallel in order to prevent backlash. In addition to aid in splicing, tie the eye center. Raise number 3 strand and insert and turn spike in the opening. Similarly, first insert strand and tighten and turn spike half a turn. Repeat the same steps 5 times to wind and tuck number 3. Then in the same way, wind and tuck number 2 5 times. After completing 3 strands, insert the core. Bring up number 5 and number 6 strands. Insert spike to lift 2 strands to insert into wire while passing through and turning the core. After inserting approximately 15 centimeters, cut off the loose strand and pass through to the end. Although the order calls for number 1 strand, insert number 5 and number 6 first for better appearance for the eye. Insert number 5 and number 6 as if wrapping. First, lift only one outer number 5 strand and wind and tuck 5 times. Then wind and tuck number 6 5 times in the same way. After inserting 5 strands 5 times, hammer number 1 with the spike as if braiding and wind and tuck 5 times away from a little away. After inserting each strand 5 times, release where the eye was tied and flatten by hammering the part where strands are inserted. Roundness in clutching together is achieved by inserting strand this way. Next, cut off the loose strand ends at 2 centimeters from the exit after bringing up the strand all the way. Finally, hammer the cut end and shape it to complete.